daily reflection. This will probably be the first one that I'm actually like not making in the truck. I've made like one video that wasn't in the truck. Hold on. I wanted to shut the door so I'm not too loud. It is like 11:30 or something, 11:40. So today, let's see. Had a short day at work. Still a little sore from my balls. Can't do a lot. I'm on light duty, so I can't really do any heavy lifting. Scott wasn't going to let me dig, so I'm not sitting in the excavator being bounced around all over the place. So I called it an early day. Went to the meeting. It was a good meeting. I've been struggling with my mental health lately. Living in these thoughts about the past, thoughts about the future, all these things that my sponsor has been telling me about. I finally started to get it, and it wasn't because of him. I watch quite a bit of YouTube. This program or this course that I'm taking, the masculine male course or whatever, has been helpful. It's got a lot of information on where these ideas come from, to not be a more manly man, but kind of be more confident in everything that you do. And it has been helpful. There are some things that I understand the reasoning behind them, but it's up to me to make my choices. So also, I've been listening to this pastor, Redirect TV is the channel. It's really good. He's got so many different topics on different things, all biblically based. He talks from the word and on it. I've watched quite a few of his videos. It is helpful in different areas of things that I really want to work on. And then I started watching another channel, which are a bunch of short videos, like 5-6 minutes, talking about like different mental health. It's more of a, this is what it's about, not like this is how you fix it type deal. And then I came across another one, like like my biggest problem is being mindful. It's not that I'm living in the past, it's that I don't want to repeat the past. And that's probably my biggest problem, is that, all the things from my past, I just end up repeating. So this journey of self-discovery has been enlightening. What I started watching today, talking about these different books, The Power of the Now, Garrett actually like told me about that. The Power of Now by Eric Tolle. Um, I looked it up on YouTube, and I came across this channel that really has to do with mindfulness, about living in the here and now, about helping to redirect my thinking. And I've spent quite a bit of time doing that. I actually wrote like 4 pages. I wrote down a bunch of sayings from him. I mean, it's all stuff that my sponsor talks about. But like these different things that I want to change, that I want to do better at. I broke out of my shell today after the meeting. I didn't have to go back to work since I went home early. Well, not real early, but I had enough time to come home and change and go to the meeting. But I got invited out for fellowship, and instead of just going home, I went, and I was actually a participant in some of the conversations. It's always been difficult for me to be able to be in groups and be a part of the conversation. I don't need to lead the conversations, but I can participate in them. And being with some of the people that I feel somewhat comfortable around, especially since all of them I knew other than the birthday girl, which is why they all went out. It was a little bit easier. And these are all people that I watch in the rooms. I see them changing their lives. I see them, like a butterfly, where they come out of their cocoon and their wings spread and they start flying into these wonderful people. And these are the kind of people I want in my life. The people that are not outgoing, but what would be the word? Sociable. I don't know if that's the correct word. But breaking free. I like that. Break free. Breaking free from their past. Being able to live in the moment. Those are the type of people I want in my life. And that's it's why I really like Emily, because she does live in the moment. I get so caught up in the thoughts in my head about planning all these future events. I mean, it's okay to plan for the future, but through all these different videos and just some guidance, I can make some plans for the future, but I don't have to live in it. And just because I have all these hurts and traumas and whatever from my past, I don't have to be that person. I can choose who I am. And that doesn't mean that like every day that's how I'm going to live. But the more I practice it and the more I keep doing these things, the better I'll get at it. Like, I reached out to a couple people today. I reached out and talked with them. I actually reached out to Garrett, and we actually had a good conversation through Messenger. That's how I learned about this, because Garrett, he likes to talk. And I need people like that, because I like to talk too, but I really have to open up first. And it's hard for me to just open up to anyone. Um, I have to get to know you a little bit, and usually someone has to make first contact, which is probably the only way I ever would have talked to Emily, because it's not fear, it's just, it probably is fear. It probably is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of not being not being good enough, not being able to hold a conversation, not being interesting, not being funny. Um, and those are really all invalid reasons. They're just things that I make up in my head. What's the worst that can happen? What, I don't make a friend? So it's really trying to overcome these things, and it'll take time. Um, but then, like, I've begun talking with another friend, um, and we have some things that are in common, um, and we've been actually talking for a few days now. We actually met up and had coffee, and I talked about that. Um, and then I reached out to another friend just to say hi and see how he's doing. It was really short, but I've come to really like him in the rooms. He gives some really good hugs, and it's always good to see him. And then I ended up just talking to someone else. Um, she's always been friendly. She wants to take the kids to the park and go to Sky Zone. And she's a really nice person. And I hope the best in her pregnancy. But the kids love her. She gives them the phone every time so they can go watch it. But I mean, it's good that I can make friends other than just guys. That I can be more open with other people, and it's not about trying to hook up with anyone, but it's about just building these friendships that I've been lacking. And out of those 4 people that I just talked about, every single one of them is very different, which makes it really cool. It makes it really cool that I can connect with different types of people in different ways. And that, all of them want to do some sort of activity. Like, me and Garrett want to get coffee, and me and Josh are going to get coffee. I haven't set something up with with holy shit, I just drew a fucking blank. How do I fucking love this guy and draw a fucking blank on his name? Jarrett Day. Jarrett. Jarrett. I mean, I haven't set anything up with him. And it's not that I don't want to. Um, I love seeing him in the rooms. I I need to reach out a little bit more with him. And then Gabby, she wants to do Sky Zone when her kids come to town with my kids, and she can be the motherly hen running around with a little baby in her belly. And just hanging out with Sean and Cindy and Brandon and Jay and Amber on her birthday. I mean, it was a good day. And then I got a chance to talk to Emily. I miss her. Out of all these people in the room, she became my first real friend. Like, I have my sponsor. So, I mean, but he's not my friend, he's my sponsor. And some of these other people, they're my friends too. But I wouldn't say they're like more acquaintances, but for the most part, that's what they have been. They've been acquaintances. They've been people that I see in the rooms, I talk a little bit afterwards, and then that's pretty much it. Emily's the first one I've been able to have like deep, intimate, vulnerable conversations with. I mean, yeah, we ended up sleeping with each other. But I mean, she became my first like real friend in the rooms. I mean, Dan was a good friend. He's off living his life. I haven't really talked with him in quite some time. I should call him up and see how he's doing, see if he wants to get together. But I mean, all the things from my past, all the things that, I didn't think were going to happen, and it started happening. And I don't want to be that same person. I want to be the same lovable person that is thoughtful and caring and wants to do good things, do nice things. But somewhere I lost myself. Somewhere I lost, like, I got lost in the moments, or I wasn't living in the moments. I was living the same way I have in every relationship I was in before. Thinking about the future too much, thinking about the past too much. There's a lot of times I was living in the moment, but it seemed like everything else always seemed to catch up. that I couldn't figure out how to process my emotions, my thoughts. I stopped accepting the journey and wanted to force everything myself. And I put way too much on her and not enough on everything else. And I mean, it's not like she was there all the time. Because then how's a better way to say it? I had plenty of time with her to be doing these other things. And instead of, you know, putting that time and effort into these other friendships, into myself, that I would just completely focus on her. And that's not fair to her or to me or to really anyone else. And taking a step back, it really comes down to it really comes down to how do I not go back to those same patterns? How do I give someone that love and attention that they deserve, and then also maintain those other friendships and be able to still continue to work on myself? And that's a pretty simple thing to do. And it's pretty simple because when I overthink it, it becomes really complex. Rather than just letting it happen. It's part of this whole being grounded in the moment thing. Accepting. Just accepting. Because when I'm not living in the moment, I'm living in fantasy. Living in this fantasy world that, I control. And and that's not a healthy way to live. When I live in that fantasy world and then people do something different than what happened in my fantasy, then they let me down. and and that's not fair to them. It's not fair to them at all. Since watching that video and all those things that Frank has been putting in my head, it's not like something just clicked. Because I do still think about the future. I don't worry about the past so much, is that, there are things that I need to talk about. There's things that I need to heal from. But it doesn't mean that, like, when things happen, I have to instantly react. And the more the more I continue to do these different things, the more I'll be able to, you know, handle those situations when they arise. When, if something's not going my way, I can be more accepting. I can be more open. I can be more flexible. Um, and I don't have to. That's why I wrote all this shit down. So that I can remember, because there's always so much. All I have is this moment. And sometimes, I used to believe that, you know, tomorrow is never guaranteed. So I'm going to do everything I possibly can right now, and that'll make me happy. You know what? Tomorrow's not guaranteed. And even if I did everything right now, it doesn't mean I'll be happy. This really is a process. This really is a journey. And so far it's been going pretty good. You know, I've really struggled how long's it been? Has it really been that long? Has it been over a week already? It's been a week and a half. Yeah. Yeah, when Emily said she was done, I have struggled with, you know, being able to get over that. And then when I told her I had to cut her off or cut her out of my life completely, at least for a short time, so that I could really focus on me. Because, I mean, I was checking out her Facebook profile every time I'd send snaps throughout the day to, to my story, and I'd look back and see if she watched them. I mean, it wasn't like stalker behavior, but it was always checking in, because I really did put like all my focus into her. And instead of just enjoying her, I was just trying to force her into this thing, this position, this person that, that I thought where she should be. And that's not who I met. I mean, the person I met and the person she is who I fell in love with. Not these fantasy dreams of who I think she should be or who I think where I think she should be or how she should be. It's not who I fell in love with. Those were all fantasies. And that's the person I miss. I miss the person that, just had this wonderful smile, this look in her eye. She hearted something on Messenger, and I have no idea what she hearted. And I started scrolling through all our old messages and came across a picture of her with her blanket up over her face a little bit. How she just lays in bed. And she sent me a message. These boundaries that I have in life, like some of them just are not meant to be crossed. Others are stupid boundaries. Some are temporary. And, it's up to me to decide, not anyone else, on what boundaries I want. What boundaries I got cut off there. I need to figure out where all my storage is going. I need healthy boundaries. And I told her that I would like to talk with her this weekend. So that gives me a few more days, to finish out this course that I'm taking, to continue working on myself. I don't know if we'll talk between now and then. I don't know what will happen, but I'm not in that moment yet. And I'm gonna think about it. But the good thing about it though is that I can practice these things that I'm learning, that I'm trying to implement into my life. And if I really feel like I need to reach out to her, I will. Life is all about choices. I really like this person. And I'm really starting to like me. Because I'm starting to learn to be okay with who I am. I mean, I've been okay with who I am, but I'm starting to really like who I am. Because all those things of the past are not me right now. They made me who I am today. But I don't have to, I can choose what I want to do. I can choose to keep growing. I can choose to keep going forward. And that's the beautiful thing about really, really looking inside myself. And I hope to look back over this because I have videos that I put on private, and I can look back at those just from, a month or two ago and see the difference. Because my personal growth hasn't just started, it's been going. I've been growing, I've been changing. And sometimes, all that stuff gets put in your head, but nothing clicks. Well, then all of a sudden, things start clicking. It doesn't mean like it all clicked right away. I mean, it's so much fucking information. All the things I've wrote. I've written so much. it's it's hard to remember all of it. It's good. I finally got my journal. I did my first one today on how I describe myself to a completely unknown person. And I wrote like this whole thing. And at the bottom I said, "Hi, my name is Joe." And that's probably what I'd say. I wouldn't say all this other stuff. But that's okay. I'm learning who I am. And I think that's the funnest part of this. And I hope he's enjoying it. Because I want him on my path too. I want him with me. And I want to go on this path with everyone around me and enjoy it with them. So that's the real purpose in life. Getting to love people. Getting to love myself. Getting to know them. Getting to experience their growth and see how they change, especially in the rooms. That's a beautiful thing. Being able to build connections with people. Life is so beautiful when you can just enjoy it for what it is. So that's my reflection for today. we'll see how tomorrow goes. That's it. I love y'all.